top stories in the WINN TV News. Police giving assurance that their concerns will be addressed. Teachers and education officials receive training in human rights for youth. And WINN TV News presents a special exclusive interview with owner of the CPL franchise team St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots. I am Chantal Rochester and welcome to this edition of the WINN TV News. The Federation's police officers have been promised that their concerns will receive appropriate attention. Ken Richards has more.
The assurance was given by Prime Minister Timothy Harris when he addressed the security forces at a meeting Wednesday.
Are there concerns within the force? Yes, there are concerns. Lots of concerns, I'm told. I promise you that your High Command will listen attentively to the concerns. I have heard some of the concerns, and we intend to work through the structure of the force to ensure that your concerns are addressed. They may not be addressed today, nor tomorrow, but they will be addressed in very good time.
Prime Minister Harris also commented on the morale of the police force.
We know that morale in the force is at times very low. And we know that you need a friend. I will be your big friend in government.
Speaking earlier, Deputy Commissioner Stafford Liebert, the acting Commissioner of Police, made it clear he was not happy with the growing number of homicides in the country.
I am aware that we cannot be proud of the number of murders in the Federation. We cannot. We cannot also be happy or satisfied with the use of firearms being used to commit crimes. Not only murder, I'm referring to any, be it robbery or any other form of crime. Therefore, let us demonstrate to the Honorable Prime Minister, the rest of his cabinet, the country, including visitors and investors, that we intend to make St. Kitts and Nevis a more peaceful place.
Prime Minister Harris also commented on the murder rate in the Federation, contending that it is much too high. There have been 10 homicides so far for the year.
Several educators and education officials were on Tuesday trained on the importance of imparting knowledge on human rights to the nation's youths. The training workshop held at the Bird Rock Beach Hotel is supported by UNESCO under the tutelage of organization Youth for Human Rights International. More from WINN TV's Andra Huey.
Mary Shuttleworth is president of Youth for Human Rights International. She explained to WINN the purpose of the workshop and the objective.
We are very honored that UNESCO, that Mr. Maynard here has taken the initiative to raise such importance of this document. The document is more than 66 years old, but very few people actually, if you ask them, do you want human rights? They say, definitely. Yes, I want human rights. You say, that's fantastic. But you say to them, well, what are human rights? You're not going to get too many answers. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're about, is to tell people you have human rights and you should know what those human rights are. So right now we're doing, Youth for Human Rights is doing our 12th world tour. That means traveling around the world to different countries. We've traveled to about 80 countries in total. And all we do on this world tour is collaborate with important people such as UNESCO, ministers of education, ministers of youth and sports, religious leaders, teachers, to inspire them and to collaborate with them to teach the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Assisting Ms. Shuttleworth in this initiative is Kenneth Weber, who is teaching the teachers the tools to be used in relaying human rights information to students. Meanwhile, Jacqueline Christopher, Community Development Officer, told WINN how the information imparted to the teachers would be relayed in schools.
Well, one of the deliverables from the workshop today is to have the Ministry of Education synchronize information into their curriculum activities, especially in the social studies department. So that's how we want the teachers to go about it, to be taught at least one day per week.
Right. Okay, so it will become part of the social studies curriculum.
Yes.
Now, what are the deliverables from this conference in terms of the tangible things that we'll see that will work towards this?
Yeah, one of the outcomes that we would like to see at UNESCO's office is the formation of a youth human rights club.
Still to come, an excerpt of an exclusive interview with St. Kitts Nevis Patriots owner Uday Nayak.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WINN FM.
WINN FM's mission is to contribute meaningfully to the information, awareness, and the development of our nation and the region through the building of educated and informed communities. WINN FM faces the issues squarely, without shying away from controversy, while striving continuously to provide balanced, responsible reporting.
Better music, better talk, better radio. 98.9 WINN FM.
Welcome back. The Solid Waste Management Corporation says a solution is urgently needed to waste disposal with the landfill way past its expiration date. For more on this story, we join Andre Huey.
With the sanitary landfill already way past its expiration date, a solution is urgently needed as the alternative measures for waste disposal have only about 2 more years. So explains General Manager of the Solid Waste Management Corporation, the SWMC, Mr. Alfonso Bridgewater.
Let me provide some background. The sanitary engineered landfill had reached the end of its life since January the 13th. In January 2013, we haven't put anything else in that. So the sanitary engineered landfill has reached its life. We basically leave a little more space, but we didn't want to compromise the fact that we put anything in it and then it collapses. So that has been capped. What we are doing, we are disposing of the waste, is not a sanitary engineered landfill set, but we've been disposing waste there. It does provide some challenges in terms of space and crampness, and it opens up to a little more vulnerability as far as fires are concerned. But we are managing up to this point. That is not the ideal situation. What is being considered now, so let me just make the point again. The sanitary engineered landfill is full. We're not putting any more garbage in that. And that's the landfill cell that you see immediately west of the main road. So we're not disposing garbage. That has been filled. We haven't been disposing garbage in there since January 2013. We are further to the west and we're disposing it. But the way we're disposing it is not a sanitary engineered cell. But it gets the daily maintenance and management.
Mr. Bridgewater, while speaking on WINN FM's Talking Trash Monday, pointed out that the SWMC can only keep up with the current situation for so long.
For another 2 years and so on. But I think the time is fast approaching where we need to become much more definitive as to what's going to happen with waste to energy. Or we just move to the next cell, because there's space right to the north of the current cell, which has been closed, for a cell to be, because when we did put down the first cell, we knew that we're going to need another cell in 7 to 10 years. So that space is there. But to create a new cell is in the region of anything from 10 million US dollars to go from there. So, but we know whether you have waste to energy or not, you're going to need this cell. So that's a consideration.
And finally, on the WINN TV News, we present an excerpt of an exclusive interview with Uday Nayak, the owner of the Caribbean Premier League franchise team St. Kitts Nevis Patriots. That interview was conducted by WINN FM sports journalist Vernon Springer.
What drove you to get involved with CPL and first of all to be able to purchase the St. Kitts Nevis Patriots?
It's very interesting, actually. The opportunity first came to me a few years ago when CPL just launched the product, and I was offered the Barbados team, and I had a look at it. I thought this through, and then I said, Barbados is not home. I mean, this is home. I said, but they didn't have a team over here. So I did tell them, I said, look, if you ever decide to have a team in St. Kitts and Nevis, do let me know. And otherwise, till then, I have no interest. And they said, why don't you do the Antigua team? I said, it's quite close by. I said, we don't want to divert our attention. We're quite happy with St. Kitts and Nevis. So if we ever decide to do something here, I left it at that. And then a few years later, they called us and said, we are going to have a team here. Would you be interested? So that's how this whole thing came about.
We're looking ahead because everything happened so quickly that it really did not give you time to be able to organize. But at least coming out of the 2015 Lime-Macal Caribbean Premier League draft, St. Kitts and Nevis seem to have just stepped up there based on the amount of players and the world-class players that we've been able to acquire. And straight away, we're looking at the ICC Cricket World Cup 2015. You see Shahid Afridi, you see Martin Guptill from New Zealand, you see Sohail Tanvi, you see Marlon Samuels from the West Indies. What are your future plans as we look now to be able to establish the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots? I know you have a 5-year vision plan in your mind, but we're going to take it one step at a time. Let's look at the first year.
See, the first year, like you said, we came in rather late in the game, and we were basically had only a short period of time to do our homework and put our team together, core team together to start looking at players and who we wanted and how this draft would work. Timing was another problem. I mean, they had the draft in Jamaica, and we've been very busy over the last few months. And I said, oh no, I said, the draft is on the 5th in Jamaica. How am I going to make it? We actually flew in Jamaica in the morning, and in the evening we flew out. Just as soon as the draft was done, we just got up and we went to the airport and went back to New York, because we were right in the middle of a rather large fundraising program in New York. So just before that, we actually started putting a few core people. I managed to bring on board Richard Berridge, who's a Kittitian, and he's been appointed as the manager of our team. And we started evaluating a potential coach, and we came upon Eric Simons, who's from South Africa. Very good guy, very precise in what he's doing, and he knows his stuff. And between him and Andre, who's the assistant coach of the West Indies team, so we managed to bring in some really good initial core guys who could help us to put a team together. And then we had to strategize and put, we said, what if scenarios, if he goes first, what do we get if he goes second? So we were prepared with almost all the answers, and we had in our list the top 5 people that we wanted. And I have to tell you, we are very fortunate that we got all the 5 people that we wanted. We had to make we had to put Marlon Samuels on 100,000, because we wanted the 150.
Which would be the number one, because you had the number one pick.
Because that would give us the number one pick. And we picked Shahid Afridi. Now, Shahid Afridi is a 2020 specialist, and I'm hoping that he can bring some good firepower into the team. Marlon Samuels is an amazing person. He's he's done very well for the West Indies also in the World Cup so far, except for one superb occasion when he went out for a duck. But he's very cool, and he's constant. So he just plows away and puts in runs. So we felt that he was good. And Martin Guptill was a gift, because the third person at that stage, when we wanted him, but we felt we're going to lose him now, because we had him in mind, but I can't remember which was the other team, but the other team took Malinga. That gave us the option then to pick Guptill straight away. So it didn't take us even 2 seconds. The minute he said, "What is your decision?" I said, "Martin Guptill." So that was it. So basically, we got all the people we wanted.
To end the WINN TV news, a look at the headlines. Police given assurance that their concerns will be addressed, and teachers and education officials receive training in human rights for youth. You have been watching the WINN TV News. I am Chantal Rochester.